your mama feeling all hopeless, like a penny with a hole in it. Fucking with that boy, y'all the dollar. Now you show finish, leave the scene clean, nigga. No flaws, no witness, cold ending. As I proceed to gripping wood wheel and corner bending. Now it's the last sentence, last word of your ending. No pretending, I don't fabricate or fantasize. Before I execute, I meditate and strategize. Sing your mama roses, hold the pain of passerby. I get the bread, that's the only way I'm pacified.
Carolina born from a Carolina breed. Welcome to Carolina, where the boys.
Boy, y'all the Dollar Man. I'm here with my homeboy, Sock, what up? My homegirl,
LT.
And we have a very special guest. We in a very special place. This is the Gold Den, owned by no other than.
I'm Raquel Richardson Thomas.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. How you doing?
Right, it is a pleasure to have you on the show. Everything you got going on, from what I seen, I jumped back on Facebook, and it was like, wow, Raquel really out here doing it. I see she got the Gold Den, Dream Catchers Corporation, the Dream Catchers Foundation. Just
Real estate.
From where you came from,
Yeah.
to where you at now. I want to say, being older than you, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I seen like, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah, so it's middle school,
awesome.
high school.
Word, it is awesome to see what you got going on.
Well, could you speak a little bit about how you started or what brought you to here? So I'm from Columbia, right? We went to school together, so we've known each other for many years, but after high school I went on to play basketball in college, Virginia, then LA. My corporate career took me to LA. Came back to the East Coast, was in the DC, Baltimore area, worked for about 8 years, and then became an entrepreneur and solo entrepreneur. Most people call that serial entrepreneurship now because I have several businesses, but worked for a few years and decided it was time for me to come back home into Columbia and start pouring into the city with the city pouring into me. Right? There's no real success story for Raquel without saying where I come from.
Yes.
I guess to keep it going, let's talk about this Gold Den, where we at. Let people know what we got going on here.
So the Gold Den, it really started off as a project just to have a place to dance, a place to call our own to dance, but it's a full service restaurant. We have a full bar, and right now we're focused on bringing people into the restaurant, and it's all about inclusion. So it's open to everyone. There's no one group that we don't want to come into our establishment. The Gold Den is near and dear to my heart. It's my baby right now. It's our newest project. It's 8 months old.
It looks real nice inside. It's real classy.
So it kind of gives you that DC, Atlanta, New York feel. There's really not a venue quite like this in our city. So we're working on right now being an event space. Yeah, and what's unique about that is we are a full service restaurant and bar. And we offer our space free to individuals who want to have events. What I know as an entrepreneur is in the beginning you can't afford to rent space. You just can't. You know, you're trying to figure out how to make money. So we offer our space to the community, to business owners, to come in and do their events between the hours of 4 and 10. And whatever it is, birthday party, vision board, business meeting, business networking, and we allow them to use our space to have that safe haven, right, where they're not stressed out about I need $700 to rent a space to do this event. So they come in here, they do their event for free, and it's kind of a part of giving back to the community.
Nice. That's really nice.
And it's important to give back to the community as well.
A lot of people don't do that, though. A lot of people say they do, or they say they want to, but they don't actually do it.
Yeah, I agree with that. A lot of people lead with youth services too, what they do for the youth, but you realize that they're really not doing the things they're saying they're doing. It's a cool thing to lead with, though.
I can definitely see like a book reading and wine in here.
Oh man, we have one coming up in February for Black History Month, and we're going to celebrate Black authors. So we're going to have a book showcase for authors as well as a book signing here at the Gold Den, and then we'll circle back in the month of March and do a women's book signing and showcase for authors, whether you're Black, white, Asian, doesn't matter, but Black History Month, we're going to celebrate Black authors.
just to kind of give people a little more in-depth view of what you got going on in here. I got in my notes every first Sunday you do like a business mastermind. So you want to touch on that? That's going on at this location, right?
Yeah, so we do that every first Sunday here at the Golden. I host something that's called First Business Sundays. And First Business Sundays is for the entrepreneur or someone who's interested in business. Now what I do is literally for an hour, I give back. I talk to them about business. I allow them to ask me questions, and in return I answer those questions. I give them homework, and they have 30 days to work on that one thing that I've asked them to do. And it's all in the spirit of literally building their businesses.
Yeah.
My goal is to build people who build businesses, who build communities. The quickest way to close the wealth gap in the African American communities is to open businesses in those communities, because we automatically inject tax dollars when we do that. So that's my number one goal, is to build people who build businesses, who build communities.
Teach them how to fish instead of giving them the fish.
That's right. That's right. So
Okay.
we come here and we do it.
Yeah, so that's what Sunday is.
That's every first Sunday.
Mondays, you got something else going on. So let's talk about what you got going on Monday.
So Mondays, I literally go live on Monday on my business page on Facebook, which is Raquel M.R. Thomas MBA. And I talk about closing the wealth gap, paying truth and money. One of the biggest issues we have in our country is the wealth gap. The average American saves less than $10 a month. But the lump sum of those people are minorities. African Americans. So I literally go live on Monday, and I'm just talking about how do we close the wealth gap, what do we need to do to close that wealth gap, and how that wealth gap truly is equal to paying truth and money. It all ties in.
Word.
So I guess if you're ready to stop with the paycheck.
Oh yeah, you gotta
Come
tune
check
it
it
out.
out.
You got to tune in. Got to tune in. So closing the wealth gap Mondays, I mean, I feel like that's something you didn't necessarily have to do, and you kind of breaking off a little piece of your knowledge to the masses so they can kind of get an idea of how to get it started, and you know, kind of giving them a glimpse into what a better life could be like.
Well, if I'm preaching, I am building people who build businesses, who build communities. You have to create a platform where you're showing them and telling them. So it's one thing for me to say I'm doing it, and it's a whole other thing for me to do it and then help people do it, right?
Definitely.
Ultimately, I am stronger if all four of us are at the table. I am not nearly as strong sitting at the table by myself. So if I teach you what I know and then you teach me what you know, then we are so much stronger than we were before I sat to this table by myself. So when I talk about closing the wealth gap, and I give that knowledge to individuals, it's because I know and understand that there's more power in numbers.
God. And I,
It keeps the dollar inside the community,
absolutely.
which I think is important.
Yep.
Absolutely. I think this would be a good segue into your Dreamcatchers Foundation,
Okay.
because entrepreneurship at a young age, like that's to me, your son is,
Roman just turned 7.
and he has his own book for sale on Amazon.
Amazon and on our website.
Yeah.
So we have WheezyvilleKidBooks.com, WheezyvilleKidBooks.com, and I'll make sure you get the link.
Yeah.
One of the things that we didn't have, so in elementary school, middle school, high school, most of us are first generation entrepreneurs. So there was nobody to show us. I've made tons of mistakes because I didn't have someone in my family that was a business owner, right? So with my son, I understood how important it is to teach entrepreneurship at an early age. It is just as important as teaching math, science, and math. Just as important. We know that all kids are going to go to college. We know that they're all not going into the military. And we know that entrepreneurship is something that we all can do. All of us have a gift and a talent. That's God-given. And it's a matter of you focusing on that, practicing it, and then pushing it out. Whatever that gift and talent is, you can monetize from it. That's simple. But you have to focus and work on the craft. And when you do that, you push it into the atmosphere, and people start to pay you because they need your service. So for my kid, and to build a stronger legacy, I said, okay, let me show you all my businesses. Come to this meeting with me. Sit here, be quiet, and listen. And I literally show them what I'm doing. In return, they're like little, they're little entrepreneurs already.
Yeah.
So
What's one good thing that you're
awesome.
doing is that, like you said, most people, their parents maybe didn't teach them anything because their parents didn't teach them.
Correct.
So you're starting the chain of, let me show my son, so then my son's gonna show his son, his daughter, and
We break the chain.
so forth and so on.
we break the chain.
Yeah.
That's right.
Was it his idea to start the book, or?
No, so this is the deal. I've always wanted to write children entrepreneurship books. I was in South America early last year teaching kids. And if you've been to South America, I was in Paraguay. It's a very poor country. Really don't have schools. It's a situation in itself. And while I was over there, it would take me an hour to hour and a half to get to the school that I was teaching. And they have majority dirt roads as well. I literally was so inspired by those kids and how much hope they had, because they were in situations where the only way out is for you to get an education.
Yep.
That's it. You have no other way out.
That's your only opportunity.
That's it. So when I was over there talking to them, and for them to see a black woman, because they don't get to see us that often, and they were, I mean, it was amazing. I can't even put it into words. I get emotional thinking about it. When they saw me, they had even more hope. They wanted to come to America. I had kids that couldn't speak English. I had a translator the entire time. That their only goal was to come to America. Their only goal was to learn how to speak English so that they could go to school and make money. And they inspired me so that to and from, I started writing the children's series. By the time I came back, I was there 8 days. By the time I got back to the States, I gave it to my son. And I was like, hey, just read this, tell me what you think. And he immediately started editing the book. Mom, you need a period here, a comma here. Kids don't understand this. I think we should change this to that. So he immediately became the editor, right? Correct. And I said, well, Roman, I really just want you to check it out, because I wrote it. I wrote it in my notes on my phone. And it became a project that he fell in love with, and we started doing it together. And here we are now. He's leading the charge. So when we go into schools, he's doing the readings, he's taking the pictures with the kids, and they are taking to him because he looks like them.
They can relate.
That's right.
But one good thing about that is most kids, parents try to force them into a direction.
Oh, no.
And then eventually, once they get to a certain age, they break away from it. Because I'm tired of doing this. But when they take their own direction towards it, like you did with that, then they're going to continue on with it. So it's really inspiring.
Yeah, so he does what he wants to do. I don't push it on him because that's important. They will lose interest if you do so.
Definitely.
It's something that he really loves. Roman is an avid reader. He's been reading since he's been 11 months. So he literally enjoys holding a book in his hand and reading. So it's second nature for him to jump in and do what he's doing. We just, we filled upon it. It was, it happened very organically, I'll say.
He fell in his calling.
Yes.
I think that's dope that you passing along such mental wealth. You know what I mean? Because it's a capitalistic society, and I feel like we don't get the push to be businessmen or businesswomen like we should at a young age. And for you to feel like sometimes it takes, coming from an African American standpoint, sometimes you gotta go out of the country and see what poverty really is, and see what people who think like I've been to Iraq, so I've seen some poverty. One thing I want to expound on is like we have fat bums here in America. Not to tap on nothing too serious, but that kind of gives you a perspective of what's going on in other countries where people are literally looking for food. It's a difference.
I grew up in other countries.
So
I was able to see like they're not even given the opportunity. Like my mother's Korean, and her dad couldn't even pay for her to go to school after second grade. She stopped going to school. My mom has a master's degree right now. Except it was just though every week she said somehow he would find a book somewhere, bring it to her, and she would just read a new book, and was just teaching herself. But it was the only opportunity that she had. Because they didn't have the money to do that. Here in this country, they give you it. But now kids don't want it because, oh man, they forcing me to go to school. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do this. But they don't realize later on in life how much it's going to help you.
Absolutely.
love sport.
Oh yeah, this country is a sport country.
Yeah. The last thing I want to touch on with you is the Dreamcatchers Corp, the Dreamcatchers Corporation. So could you expound on that a little bit?
So with Dreamcatchers Corporation, I'm a business and leadership coach. So I work with small businesses and corporations on building their businesses. And I also publish all of our books through that particular company, and I publish for other authors. So other authors that are interested in self-publishing their books, I take them through the process, get them self-published, and they own 100% of their book. But that company, that's what we do. And it's also another way to give back. Like, we're not asking, we don't want to be a publishing house. We don't want rights to your books. We're going to help you self-publish that book and push it out into the atmosphere, and you will be 100% owner of your book. So that's pretty much in a nutshell what we do with Dreamcatchers Corporation. All my books are published through that particular company. Wheezyville Adventures, which is the entrepreneurship series, is published through that company. And any book that I publish for an independent author that wants to be a self-published author, I also push it through.
I wanted to ask you about the Wheezyville. You said it was a series. How many books are in the series right now?
So right now we have 3 books in that series. We have 2 more that will be coming in about 4 months.
Okay.
We're waiting on the illustrations, but we have that written already.
Nice. That's really nice. And they all for sale on Amazon and your
Amazon
website.
and the website. So we have a whole collection with the Wheezyville Adventures. We have book bags, lunch packs, jigsaw puzzles, stickers. You know, we have a whole collection. We're working on a board game right now, entrepreneurship kit board game to go into that because we want it to be fun. And entrepreneurship is fun. You know, when you're small and you're building businesses, it's a cool thing to do.
What's the age range of the books?
So pre-K to 5th grade. Pre-K to 5th grade, I have another book called Shifting Into Purpose, The Journey to Entrepreneurship. And I talk about my journey, but then I teach fundamental business skills from A to Z. You'll be able to open a business up and do it the right way with this book. And I work with high school and middle school students with that particular book. It's a full curriculum workbook.
Yeah.
Well, the one common thing I kind of noticed about all the businesses that you're in is all of them seem like it surrounds itself around helping people.
That's right. So I'm huge for community, man. Like, there are some community folk that really poured into me. I come from poverty, alcoholism, drug addiction, foster care. And without those community folk, I don't think I would have survived and made it outside of Columbia. I've dealt with suicide as a teenager. I was in foster care as a teenager. So those community people really are the reason I was able to get out. That's right. So now
they made a real impact on you.
Absolutely. So for me, my purpose is to build people.
Yeah, that's what I'm noticing. That's the common thing.
Build businesses.
That's the main common thing I'm noticing about everything in your circle.
Yeah. It all ties in. I stay within my niche, right? I love teaching business. Even when I'm working on different projects, new projects, I'm still focused on teaching my craft to other people and helping them monetize their gift. Right, because I don't have a lot of gifts. I'm just able to teach it.
That's your gift.
I've opened up several businesses, but I also sell them. So I build them and sell them. I don't keep it. I build it and I sell it. But
nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I guess off camera we was talking about something that I feel like is very important for the podcast, for the viewers. It was the elevator pitch. Could you just talk about what the elevator pitch is real fast so we can.
So the elevator pitch is being able to express and tell someone what you do in 30 seconds. You may have a minute, you may have 60 seconds, but what I've realized in business, when I'm talking to business owners, they cannot tell me, 99% of business owners, small business owners cannot tell me in 30 seconds exactly what they do and then ask for the sell. So one of the things I teach in all of my settings is an elevator pitch, and you have to practice it. You got to look in the mirror at home while you're getting dressed, when you're brushing your teeth. You have to practice this thing over and over because it becomes a craft. The person who can in 30 seconds explain their business, articulate exactly what they do and ask for the sell are gonna 99% of the time be more successful than a person who can't articulate it. Oftentimes those individuals can be great at what they do, run very successful businesses. They do it every day they still can't literally articulate to someone else what they do. So we teach that as a very important skill, especially if you have an investor in front of you and they have $10 million and they can make all their dreams come true. He or she doesn't have 5 minutes. You have 30 seconds to capture their interest, and if you do, then they'll make time to give you 5 or 10 minutes. But if you don't capture their attention in that 30 seconds, that's so nice to meet you, thank you so much, I wish you all the best, and they move on, as they should.
Indeed.
They should.
Indeed, man. We touched on a lot so far, right?
You know what we did touch on?
Go ahead, let me know.
And it's a subject that we touched on last week, but what's something you learned from your failures?
Oh man, that's huge. And I share this when I'm teaching. Delegation is one of them. You cannot do everything. It is mandatory for you to bring other people in and allow them to master the things that you're weak on. I am big on focusing on my strengths and not my weaknesses. The areas that I'm weak, I bring other people in and have them work on those areas. So delegation is a big one. Being able to delegate tasks to the right people.
Well, that makes a good leader, though.
The right people, and trusting them to get the job done. And the second thing is, I think for people that don't work in their purpose, they're going to fail. And you may make a lot of money for a short period of time. Purpose is so important. When you work in your purpose, see, you can lose money and still have joy. And still get up and do it because your purpose to do it. So it's not all about money. A big mistake that a lot of business owners make, in my opinion, is focusing just on money. See, money is gonna come. We're walking banks, right? Because we have gifts and we have talent. And if we work in our purpose, then the money will come. It'll always come. So that's a
beautiful wisdom.
That's a big issue. That's where I see a lot of failure for a lot of other businesses. But for me personally, some of my failures have come with the lack of delegation and learning how important it is to delegate and allow people to work in their greatness and their purpose, and let me do that. Understand that you can't do everything in your business.
So you do a little SWOT analysis on yourself every once in a
Oh
while.
man, what? It is so important. You hear the word SWOT analysis, and I'm appalled that you even said the word SWOT analysis because most people don't know what it is. And for you to know that it's equally important to have a SWOT for your personal life, just as well as your business, is huge. You are light years in front of some millionaires.
Well, my teacher, she always told me, it was a lesson that she told me that kind of stuck. She said, you need to treat your personal life as you would your business.
That's right.
And that was one of the strongest messages I heard at school. And I took that to heart.
Because this is a deal. Your personal life and your business, they will align. And if they don't, that means you're two people. How difficult is it to be two people 100% of the time?
That's true.
Your business and your personal life will align, and when it becomes in full alignment, you will see the best results because you're operating as one person and you're operating in your greatness at that point. But you can't be two people full time. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, you're right about that.
That's what's up, right?
You have to have peace of mind.
Just in case y'all don't understand why she's speaking the way she's speaking, could you talk about the letters at the end of the name real fast? The MBA, what is that?
So I have a master's in business.
Okay.
I have an MBA. I had the pleasure of teaching undergrad students at Benedict College, University of South Carolina. Did some lecturing over there. So Allen, Benedict, and USC taught, and got to share kind of what I do. But without those letters, MBA it's not possible to teach at a college level. So that was a huge experience for me. Huge shout out to Dr. Artis, the president over at Benedict. She's doing great things over there.
Yeah, she is doing great things over there compared to never mind. But we go.
Was it they got you?
What else you want to talk about real fast? Let's talk about the. I'm curious to know what's on your playlist, right? What do you listen to?
So,
for this powerful mind you working with, what are you fueling it with?
So I'll tell you. So for music, when I think about music, I'm an old school hip hop head.
Okay.
So that Jay-Z hip hop.
Yeah.
I'm not listening to a lot of the new stuff. The beat is dope.
Yeah.
But the lyrics, I just cannot get with, right? So when I think about hip hop, I'm in that Jay-Z era. I'm inspired by Jay. what he's been able to do, you know, without a high school diploma.
You had a glow up.
My my inspirations are Oprah and Jay, and they're on two totally different ends of the spectrum, but they inspire me in a big way. But all in all, I'm an R&B head.
Yeah.
Oh my God! So just yesterday, I was driving from Charlotte. I listened to What's the 411 by Mary J.
Classic.
I listened to 444 J.
Okay.
And then I listened to Silk, the Lose Control album.
Wow.
So I'm a huge R&B fan. So when I'm writing books,
No recognition.
no, they didn't get in yesterday. But I like mid condition, but they didn't get in yesterday. So I literally, when I'm writing, that's kind of what I'm listening to.
Okay, cool. I think we done pretty much touched on everything. We got the over there. We got.
You got steps to success, or do you have any words of success to give the viewers?
Man, I tell you what I've done, and I tell people you have to create your principles, and those principles need to be the same for your business. I have 10 principles. Create yours, and it may be 3, and it may be 5, and maybe 10, whatever. But create principles and know what they are. So I would tell everybody to do that. But more importantly, what has yielded me the most success has been working in purpose. So if I had to leave words of wisdom, that's what I would say, working in purpose, because you will be financially stable, you'll work, and you will have joy. Even in the bad seasons, when you're working in purpose and you're doing what you're purposed to do, you're going to yield the best results. Even if it doesn't mean you're going to end up being a millionaire. You don't have to be a millionaire to be rich. Or to be rich. Rich is different for different
rich
people.
is relative in the eye of the beholder.
That's right. So wealth is just it's a matter. It's the person. You know, some people can, if they can go on vacation and take care of their bills, that's wealth.
Yeah.
Some people need 20 million bucks. That's wealth, but it's different for different people. So if I had to leave one thing, I would say working your purpose. Stay true to that, and you'll yield the best results.
Yeah, that's great.
I think we touched on everything. We had the gold in. I wish we could get some of that shrimp and grits. She got on the menu, but Rock again.
But come down and get some of the shrimp and grits.
Yes, Thank you. That's real. I'm so humbled that you was down to come on the podcast and talk about, just give us a glimpse into your mind and what you're taking care of right here. I think it's amazing. And I wish you the best of luck. I know you're going to do it. Like, you don't even need that. But just keep doing your thing. I'm so proud of you.
Your support is huge. We have to support each other. It doesn't really work when we don't do that. So I appreciate it. When I saw the podcast, I watched the full podcast, your first podcast. And I jumped in and I just said, I'm proud of you. I didn't say anything else. I just wrote, I'm proud of you. And then I jumped out. But it's huge to have conversation. Nothing changes until there's dialogue.
Yeah.
Nothing will ever change until there's open dialogue when people start talking about the issues at hand. So I'm proud of you.
That's beautiful. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, man. Hey, sweet podcast. What we giving you? Hip hop, entrepreneurship, inspiration on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You better watch for the sweet, man. Coming at you live.
Carolina breed, welcome to Carolina where them boys stack cheese.